Mr. Mayor, City Councilors, I own, to begin with, I'm here for two reasons. I own a residential building, a house, that I purchased that's within the 300 feet limit. And I bought that specifically for Sister Beth. She wanted a place to live that was very near across the street to Tutti Bambini and Jardín. Legally, that's why I'm here. But I must tell you something in particular for some of the new city councilors that may not know something about this lady, and she's going to kick me one once I do that. I'm going to wait till the mayor finishes because I think Representative Ben Como needs to hear it too. Sister Beth came to me when I was first elected with her partner, Sister Anna. We were right at the beginning of building the community of hope that I assume you all know about. She wanted to build a component for the young kids, and they called it Jardín de los Niños. History after that, she said that wasn't sufficient. So what she did, she created the La Tienda, which is right across the street from Tutti Bambini. Are you familiar with that? That's where they sell gently used clothes for women. That wasn't good enough, so what she did, she went across the street and opened Tutti Bambini. Tutti Bambini raises money for infants, for babies that are essentially homeless. She's been doing that ever since I've known her for some 15 or 20 years. She never wants to get recognition for that, but this is the kind of person we have in our community that all she is asking for is let us continue to thrive. I know there was one city councilor referring to the cannabis industry. They don't want to see it just survive, they want to see it thrive. I would hope in the pit of my heart that you as mayor and city council would want to look out as what is going to be the implications of not only this location, but all cannabis locations. They said there's 3. There's actually going to be 5 within a 2-block area of Tutti Bambini. 5. This reminds me, years ago, once again, first elected, I got a call on a Sunday. Mayor, there's some kind of construction going on, I think it was on the corner of Mesquite and Amador. Huge cranes and whatnot. Long story short, they were putting a cell tower in right in the historical district, Mesquite Historical District. Long story short, called the city manager, they figured out a way to call a halt. What that did to the city, it gave us an opportunity to figure out long range, how are we going to address the locations of cell towers within our city. And if you notice, we did ensure that it would not be built within downtown areas, it would have to be built on the outside areas. This is the same challenge I believe you all have as you sit here. I believe we're the only community that doesn't have hours of when they can close, which is not a big deal. Most of them close early anyway. But the proliferation of locations all over the city, and now we've got 3 huge lounge areas that are going to be opening up. I mean, you as elected officials, I would think, what is the perception of people outside the city? For years and years, we worked on this city to work on the perception. What is it that people love about the city? A lot of retirees. I can guarantee you most of those retirees are going to be looking at this city from a standpoint of, I'm one right now, but I'm retiring. From the standpoint of what is it going to look like when you're driving around and you've got these cannabis locations all over the place. I'm not against cannabis. I'm not going to debate that issue about alcohol and cannabis. That's for another time. But I can tell you, I think you as an elected body of this city needs to look at that very, very hard and the implications. Biggest implication is on Tutti and La Tienda. They do more for this community, for the homeless, than I think almost anyone else does. So I think, personal opinion, more research needs to be done on this kind of an issue. I don't think it's going to put them out of business at all if this is tabled so you can look at it. One other issue. I don't know if any of you have spoken to any school board members or the superintendent. Do you know that they're talking about putting another facility in that location where they're at now, across the street? That's important. That's a discussion I think you as elected officials need to be doing with your counterparts, mayor to superintendent, you as elected officials with the elected school board members. They would have a concern if they get to that point and have a cannabis shop right across the street. I would encourage you to think about the future perception of this city as to what we're doing and how we're dealing about it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Is there anybody else on your team